I welcome you to this session of ISO 14001 2015, and today we are going to talk about clause number 9. Under this subclause 9.1, monitoring, measurement, analysis and evaluation, and under this there is a general clause 9.1.1. So our today's discussion is based on 9.1.1. So as usual, first of all, I'll read out the requirement to you as given in the standard. So clause 9 under this subclause 9.1 and under this 9.1.1 general. The organization shall monitor, measure, analyze and evaluate its environmental performance. The organization shall determine A, B, C, D, E. There are 5 points in this. So I'll read out all the points to you. A, what needs to be monitored and measured. B, methods of monitoring, measurement, analysis and evaluation. C, the criteria against which the organization will evaluate its environmental performance and appropriate indicators. D, when monitoring and measuring shall be performed. And E is when the results from monitoring and measurement shall be analyzed and evaluated. The organization shall ensure that the calibrated or verified monitoring and measuring equipment is used and maintained as appropriate. Next para, the organization shall evaluate its environmental performance and the effectiveness of the environment management system. Next para is, the organization shall communicate relevant environmental performance information both internally and externally as identified in its communication processes and as required by its compliance obligations. And last para, the organization shall retain appropriate documented information as evidence of the monitoring, measurement, analysis and evaluation results. So this is a medium kind of clause, and let us discuss the clause in more detail. So as the para says, the organization shall monitor, measure, analyze and evaluate its environmental performance. So we are supposed to be evaluating the performance of our environment management system implementation. So the organization has to monitor, measure, analyze and evaluate the environmental performance. So naturally the question is what to analyze. So that is the very first point. A, what needs to be monitored and measured. What do we monitor and measure? So first of all, we have to ponder over this question and clearly bring out and maintain records of what needs to be monitored and measured. B, the method for monitoring, measurement, analysis and evaluation as applicable to ensure valid results. Methods for monitoring, measurement, analysis and evaluation, we have to determine and make note of the methods which we are going to use for monitoring, for measurement, analysis and evaluation as applicable to ensure valid results, so that the results that we achieve are valid, are okay, are in conformance with the requirement, are according to the environment management system that we have prepared and that is in place. Now, C. The criteria against which the organization will evaluate its environmental performance and appropriate indicators. The criteria against which the organization will evaluate its environmental performance. So we have to lay down the criteria. What is the criteria against which the organization will evaluate the environmental performance and appropriate indicators? What are the units? What are the indicators on which we are going to work to evaluate the performance? So this is what we have discussed till now, and now let us further proceed. Let me go to that particular clause. Yes. Test 9.1.1. See the criteria against which the organization will evaluate its environmental performance and appropriate indicators. This we have covered. Then we come to D. This is the last but one point. When the monitoring and measuring shall be performed. So when exactly we are going to perform these monitoring and measurement according to on whatever parameters we have decided, whatever things we have decided that we are going to monitor and measure these things pertaining to the environmental management system. These could be the test results pertaining to the environment, or could be anything else, could be vibrations, could be the dust content in the atmosphere, or anything that we decide. So that is C, the criteria against which the organization will evaluate its monitoring performance and appropriate indicators. So we have to jot down the appropriate indicators and maintain records of these. And now we come to D. When the monitoring and measuring shall be performed. When are we going to perform this monitoring and measurement? So we have to make a plan, and this plan must be in black and white. We have to maintain the records. And E. When the results from monitoring and measurement shall be analyzed and evaluated. So we have measured the data pertaining to the performance indicators, and now we are supposed to analyze whether they are meeting the requirement or not. So if they are not meeting the requirement, we have to take care of things, and if they are meeting the requirement, then we have to see how far they are meeting the requirement and whether it is meeting our requirement of the environment management system or not. Then comes the next para. The organization shall ensure that calibrated or verified monitoring measurement equipment is used and maintained as appropriate. So the company or the organization has to ensure that we use only calibrated instruments for measurement. So the organization shall ensure that calibrated or verified monitoring and measurement equipment is used and is maintained. That means maintained in good condition as appropriate. Next para says the organization shall evaluate its environmental performance and the effectiveness of the environmental management system. Well, the effectiveness of any system is established only if the system is able to give the results which we are expecting from the system. So, if the environmental management system is effective, then the parameters which we are expecting, we should be able to maintain or attain those parameters. So, accordingly, the organization shall evaluate its environmental performance and the effectiveness of the environmental management system. So this has to be ensured by the organization or the company that we evaluate our environment performance and the effectiveness of the environment management system, so that we have to be sure that our environment management system is effective. It is able to give the results which we are expecting. Then the last but one para says, the organization shall communicate relevant environmental performance information both internally and externally as identified in its communication processes and as required by the compliance obligations. So our compliance obligation may require that we communicate the results of the environmental performance to external parties and also to internal interested parties. So we have to ensure that we communicate to all the people, all the external interested parties and all the internal interested parties the environmental performance, so that everybody is able to ponder over the results and give their opinion whether the environmental management system is effective or not. So this is what we have to do. The organization has to communicate relevant environmental performance information both internally and externally as identified in our communication processes and as required by the compliance obligation. Some compliance obligations may also say that the results must be communicated. So accordingly, these have got to be communicated according to the compliance obligations. And now the last para says, the organization shall retain appropriate documented information as evidence of the monitoring and measurement, analysis and evaluation results. So whatever monitoring, measurement and analysis we have carried out, the records of the results have got to be maintained so that we can at any point of time verify what were the results of our monitoring and measurement. So the organization has to retain, this is the last point, so we have to maintain the records of the performance information both internally and externally. Whatever we have communicated, the records of those communications also are to be maintained as identified in our communication processes and as required by the obligations. The organization has to retain appropriate documented information, so the records have to be maintained as evidence of monitoring and measurement, analysis and evaluation of the parameters that we have decided to measure and monitor. So that's all in this para. This is a medium kind of clause. I hope you have understood the requirement fully and completely. And by any chance, if you are in doubt about any aspect of the requirement, please give your comment below this video. I'll be able to explain to you once again so that nothing is left out which is not clear to you. So everything has got to be clear to you, absolutely clear to you. Okay, if you are liking my videos, please give me a thumbs up, give me a like, and also share my videos with your friends and colleagues so that they can also take advantage of the knowledge sharing which is taking place between us. So that's all in this, and we are lastly, please do not forget to subscribe to my channel and also press the bell icon so that as and when I load my video, the information will reach you without any delay. You will be able to see my videos without any delay. So thank you very much for watching my videos, and next Sunday we are meeting again and we shall be discussing over clause number 9.1.2, which is evaluation of compliance. So we shall discuss this next Sunday. Bye bye. See you on next Sunday again. Bye bye.